Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Bebop here. This series is going to cover the 12 excavations or the 12 dungeons in New World. We're going to start off with Amrine and Windsward, which is a level 25. But first of all, if you come up here to activities, you will be able to queue cross server for any of these expeditions. Now, if you do not have the expansion and you're playing before October 15th, you'll have to get the expansion to be able to do some of the dungeons that are level 65 requirement. But we're going to be focusing right now on the 25 requirement one. So for those who will be ranking up, this will be the first dungeon you come across, which will have level 25 gear that you're going to be able to earn in here. And there's some little secrets and stuff that you may not know about when you're coming through here that are not so obvious. Now, you will need an Azoth staff, so somebody in your group has to be able to get to the Everfall and do the Azoth mission to be able to unlock certain things in this dungeon. Now, always keep on that allow join in progress so people can join you in case someone backs out or has to go. And you could choose to sign up for your own lobby in your server or for the one with cross server play. So it's up to you. You can put in a description there. And you could type in, you know, only bad players allowed, you know, or whatever you want to do. If you want to select tank or healer, you only need one per group. So if I'm going to go as a tank, I just unselect tank. So that way, when people are signing up, they can only pick basically damage dealer or DPS and healer. So here we go. We're going to queue up and we're going to get in there and I'm going to run you through Amrine and we'll talk about the dungeon as we go. Now, as you're going through these, you can feel free to go to the arcane station and you can get strong ward pots that will help protect you from the damage each enemy type is going to be doing. You can also get coatings to put on your weapon. The game doesn't really do a great job of explaining what these are, but the ward pots or ward potions are going to be, it's going to allow you to take more damage from the enemy. Okay, so Amrine is lost enemies only. So what you're going to want to do, if you want to, put on a strong lost ward potion, as you see right there. And then to do more damage to the enemies, you'd put on a lost coating on your weapon. Now, you will apply the coating when you enter the dungeon. This is where it gets a little confusing. So you can take a lost ward pot and enter the dungeon and it still be active. Coatings don't work that way. Why is that? I don't know. AGS, welcome, baby. Welcome, new players. It's AGS in the house. Well, so when you get in the dungeon, if you want to put on the coatings, that's when you put it on. Now, when you're done with the dungeon and you get out, those coatings automatically come off. Why is that? I don't know. They should just be on whether you go in or off. You should only have like a, you know, or whatever, like a 20-30 minute timer. And so it shouldn't really matter what you do, but you know, AGS being AGS, right? Maybe it'll be fixed in the October 15 update. Who knows? But those will help you out. Also, you can take stones. So we got a weak honing stone, common honing stones. Honing stones will allow you to do more damage. Okay. You have weak, common, strong, and powerful, I believe. Hopefully I'm not missing one. And so they're going to allow you to do a certain percentage. I think it's like 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7% increase on damage. So if you take the honing stone and you also take the coating, you're going to be doing a lot more damage to the enemies to get through it a lot easier. If you take the ward pots, you'll be able to absorb more damage, which will help you survive longer. Now, as you're ranking up going through Amrine and all that, I wouldn't even waste money or time on that trash. You don't need it. You'll get through it just fine. When you get to Dynasty or something like that, level 55, okay, now you got resources, you can make that stuff, and it will help you get through it a lot faster, so it doesn't take so long. But then again, if you're queuing up with a lot of randoms, most people aren't going to even probably know what it is unless they watch this video. I mean, don't forget to share with your buddies, man. And hey, what's going on? And you know, so that way you can get through it a lot faster. And then as you get to level 60s and stuff like that, you definitely should be using stuff by that point, okay? And when you get to mutations, you definitely want to be using those. And I will go over the mutations later on. All right, let's get into Amrine and I'll walk you through it. All right, so here we are in Windsward. You can come up here to this shrine, go right to Amrine. We're going to walk in. I have a group here, 2 buddies helping me out. And we're just going to run through. We're high rank, so we will be able to get through it just fine. Normally, you'll have 5 people in your group, 1 tank, 1 healer, and 3 DPS. So let's go ahead and get inside, and we'll take it from there. All right, I'm inside. Group's inside. We're ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and get coated and goated, as I say. I'm going to take my lost ward pot, my strong one. I'll take a common honing stone, and I'll take a common lost ward or lost coating for my weapon. So you can go into the menu how I just did and just click use, and that will apply to your weapon. At the bottom, you will see the buffs pop up. The one with the skull on it is the lost coating. And then you got other buffs that show up down there. One will be food or, you know, certain things. I don't want to get too complicated here. The one that looks like a sun is going to be the honing stone. And then you have your other cross, which will be not only, it could be your food or it could be the lost ward potion to help you take more damage from the lost enemies. Now, we were going through this, and I was trying to decide exactly how I wanted to show the pulls, but really, in Amrine, bro, you're just going to be running through it, okay? We're not trying to get too technical here. We're just getting through this trash, all right? I'll explain mechanics later on in other, you know, excavation videos, but right now, you're just going to be trying to run through it. You really want to try to group up the enemies as best you can. Having a great axe is really good for doing that in dungeons. It's a must-have. Now, normally you'll have one DPS that's a spear, great axe user, one DPS that's like a rapier user, one DPS that's a great sword, or maybe even another spear user, or, you know, another rapier user or whatnot. It doesn't matter at this level. You just come in here with buddies, you get through it, okay? You have the healer and the tank doing their things. Now, at this level, no one's going to really know what they're doing, okay? So just try to go through it and have fun, and don't worry about grouping up and mechanics too much yet. We'll get to that later. But right here, you're going to see the tank runs in first. That's what you usually want to do in these dungeons, is let the tank go first. See how the mobs all pull to him and get aggro. They're nice and tight. They're not spread out everywhere. That's basically the gist of what you want to do in a lot of these dungeons. That's what you're constantly trying to do. Get mobs together so you can kill them and go through it faster, okay? Later on in mutated dungeons, you will be based off score and time. So the quicker you get through it and the quicker you kill enemies without deaths and whatnot, and shrines as they call it, when you fully die out and have to respawn at the shrine, then hey, you're going to be getting gold, silver, or bronze rewards, and you get different amount of materials from those. The best would be gold, and so on. So as you make your way through, the Azov staff is what you just saw me use to open that door. That's why you have to have the Azov staff. Then you want to turn left here, come down here, and you want to kill all these enemies. Now, normally I would let that ghost go down here where the tank would go, pull all these together, and then we can kill them at once, because you're going to be really weak starting off. If you start hitting the enemy quickly, as I did right there, it would just turn, you would get aggro, which basically the mob has aggression towards you, and then next thing you know, you're going to get destroyed. Or you'll be yelling out for the tank, okay? Make sure the tank pulls together before you start aggroing. Now, before I jump down right there, up on that ledge to my right, immediately right there where I'm looking, that's where the chest is going to be in the update, okay? It's not going to be hidden in the little water. Now, if you come around this side, there's gatherables you can get. Now, you could have just went up there, jumped up the ledge where the staircases slope downwards, but I wanted to show you the gatherables that you can get while you're in here. So if you picked one of the classes where you get the harvesting at level 50 or the mining at level 50, you can go ahead and, you know, get one of those, whichever one you have ranked up. And then now we're on our way up. You want to come up here to the left. Any blue piece of paper that you see running around, you'll see one on my left. Boom, right there. You want to go ahead and pick up for that free XP. So here we are. We need to take out these mobs real quick. Now, we could have left these until we came back here, because you're going to end up coming back up here, and we could have just kept going on the downward area, but that's okay. I wanted to show you this. Now we jump back down. We got a big brute here. All right, you want to make sure the tank has aggro on this guy. He hits really hard, and this ghost hits pretty hard too. So as you kill them, you want to go ahead and make your way down here. Now to the left, there will be a gatherable. It will be mining, so you'd have to have, I think it's level 50 mining to be able to get this one. That's going to give you a soul mote. There you go, 14 soul motes. Very important. Those things are rare. Take out this mob. You got like a little mini boss right here. He's a pretty tough dude, especially when you're first starting out. It's a named enemy. So they're regular mobs, then they're named enemy mobs. The name enemies will obviously have a name. It was Zippy or whatever it was. And so they're a little bit stronger, a little bit tougher. They hit harder, and they're really just scary. I just get scared. But yeah, and then you want to come through here. Go to this little mound because more enemies will spawn out of the mound. You always want to take that out first. Let all the other enemies come to you. In this room, someone with the Azov staff needs to go to that round ball right there you see in the middle of the screen, and they need to start channeling, okay? They got to go to that, and they use their Azov staff to channel and unlock the next area. So when you get done channeling this, you will notice that more enemies spawn. So if the tank and everybody start heading to the door and don't realize that other enemies are going to spawn, you're going to end up spawning these, and when you try to go over there to join your group, this ghost is going to be on your arse. So you'll be running, tank, help, healer, help, Bebop, save me, you know. But, you know, you can only send the Bebop bat signal up once or twice when you're running these, and maybe I show up. I don't know. You just got to make sure you save those for very important times. Okay, people, we're just... that abomination hits pretty hard right there. You don't have to kill these. You can go around these, but I'm sure somebody will end up pulling them. Just bring them over here to the mound. Now, the guys that are throwing up in their hand and throwing it at you, very nice, by the way, those are basically archers. Now, ancient enemies, you'll have, you know, traditional archers with bows. Well, that's basically their bow. They throw up in their hands and they throw it at you. Unlocking that orb that I channeled will unlock this box. Without doing the orb, you could not get that box. So that is a shrine that I just passed there. It's a respawn point. So if I die or whatnot, I'll respawn there. Now, someone needs to stand on that button, and then someone needs to go down to the bottom left here and stand on that button. And I will stand on this button, and a bridge will form. Go down there, Tay. What are you doing? Oh, Nindy, you're taking forever, old weesh. And now we have enemies spawning. So, a brute will spawn down here. A tank will bring it up. Don't fight him by yourself down there. You always want to bring him up. Also, at the other button, the orange ghost will come up and spawn. So, you want to bring him up too. You can take everybody out up top here. Now, if you're taking these out, the healer can pull the other mobs across the bridge and they'll run over here to you, or you just wait until you get over there and you can take those out. The only thing is if someone starts shooting them right here and you're fighting on the bridge and one of these, I think the abomination, one of these guys explode and they can knock you off. So it can actually make for a funny moment. All right, we got these guys grouped together here. Yep, and you can see right above his health, it said explosive if you go back and look. So it tells you basically what kind of, you know, damage the enemy could do, basically what, you know, when you kill him, what's going to happen. So that was an explosive enemy. Now, only one person needs to get this toolbox because this is going to unlock a little mini boss. And it doesn't matter if everybody gets it. It's not a reward or anything like that. It's just to progress through the story here. All right, take out all these mobs before you summon the mini boss, because if not, it's going to be a problem. So you see that, you know, burning shrine thing there in the middle? That's what will spawn the mini boss. You have a treasure chest to the left that's locked with that blue piece of paper you want to grab. Now, you don't want to grab that. Well, obviously, you're not going to be able to get the box first because it's locked. Don't forget to go around left here, okay? A lot of new players, they won't know about this over here. It's a free chest to loot. You got 2 enemies. So go ahead and loot this first. Then go over there and do the mini boss. And once you start the mini boss, it has some mechanics that you'll see that basically it'll spawn a round purple circle around you or around a group of enemies. And then if you break that chain, it stuns you, okay? And everybody's going to be hunched over looking sad. So what you want to do is stay inside of the chain. And there's different attacks that the boss can do. There will be what we call pizza, which is a circle with basically, if you think of a pizza slice, you would want to stay toward the outer crust. We didn't really get that animation, so I can't really show you here. But, you know, maybe I'll show you later. Now, you have these lines here that are really, really hard. almost impossible to dodge, especially at the higher levels when they're basically opening up one gap where you got to get in to be safe. That is just almost a guaranteed death. And a lot of times when you break the chain, that's the one that does spawn up. It's like a penalty. So it's best to stay inside the circle and go ahead and just DPS down the enemy. If the healer has a ice pylon, the healer could throw an ice pylon down and the ghost will spawn the circle on the ice pylon a lot of the times. So if you're a healer or if you're DPS, have an ice pylon on you, one of the group, and you can roll out, throw that thing down, let it sit there, and the boss will put the circle on the pylon. That will help you out tremendously. Pylons are so good on so many bosses for that. I'll show you all the tricks once we get to the higher level ones. Now, I will be coming out with a mutated series. It's going to be separate from the regular. The regular is just going to be, getting through it, basic things. The mutated series is going to be more in depth. It's going to be a lot more detail, and I'm going to go through what I always classify as 3 ways to run mutated dungeons, 3 levels to them, okay? And it'll add some extra fun. Instead of just running a dungeon, we gotta go, cool. No, there's speed runs, there's score runs, and there's some trap runs if you're familiar with my channel. So this boss right here, he is a big meanie, and it's Simon Gray, and what he does is spawn these little minions, okay? And you want to try to group them up and take them out as fast as you can, because if you don't, he will eat them. And when he eats them, he becomes empowered. He'll throw up on the tank, which does a lot of nature damage and also makes the tank not be able to heal as much. There you go. There's some right there I'm showing you. You get diseased, and when you're diseased, you will not heal as much. And he does these big attacks that are painful, and when he slams down, it could really knock or stun a lot of teammates. So you want to try to get rid of those as quick as you can and dodge the... See, if you don't dodge that, you'll get sad. You'll just be hunched over. But that's basically Amrine in a nutshell. So you're going to start off with Amrine, which is this dungeon. Then you go to Starstone, which is in Everfault. Now, when you get into mutated dungeons, Starstone and Amrine are combined into one dungeon. Now, I won't be able to show you that unless I have a VOD saved of running Starstone, which I might somewhere. And it's basically this dungeon and Starstone combined, and it's pretty cool how they do it. I wish they did that with more of the dungeons. That's actually part of Starstone right there. So if you're familiar with that, that's a really cool spot in the dungeon. So I really hope that they maybe consider doing that down the road. I think a Forge and Glacial Tarn would be awesome combined together. I think that'd be so cool. And there's some other one, maybe Savage and Genesis or something like that. But I don't know how they would do that, but Then make sure you grab that box, the loot box on the left before you head out. When you head out, you're going to be dropped off right where you came in, whether it be your home or whether it be in Windsward or wherever you were. And then you could turn in your yellow mission of the bones that you got for the dog. And you turn in those bones to the dog. You get a reward. I think it's 5,000 XP. We'll see right here. You can feel free to pet the dog too. And you can pick up another one and run it through if you want. And just farm XP if you want. So that's Amrine. Hopefully I explained everything. If I did not, any veterans in the comment sections, just please, leave some notes. And I will see you on the next video. It'll be Starstone. I'm actually going to do Starstone and Depths and Dynasty all in one. I don't have enough time to really finish that out right now. And I will try to combine as many as I can together instead of doing one by one, because that's just going to take too many days. And then I wanted to put this one by itself just to really fully explain everything as far as the honing stones and things like that. Trophies you can put up in your house for the Lost Ward trophies to do more damage. And, so that way I can reference this video back to someone if they come across the channel and they had a question about dungeons. You can carry this information over to the following ones. So the next ones we'll be speeding up and going through, and I'll be covering what I can in those. All right. Well, I stream every day live on Twitch. Feel free to stop by. If this helps you, please leave a like, comment, maybe share it with your friends, and I'll see you all in the next video. Let me know if you enjoy the series, and I'll check you later. Later.